What's good, guys? The Clueless Panda here, giving you another commentary today. Quick thing before we start, I have to say this in this video as well. We have rebranded the name, so if anyone's watched this and then gone and watched an earlier video or whatever, we used to be called Let's Plays. We changed the name to Duality Gaming just to be a bit more networky and things. So yeah, but today I'm going to talk about pre-orders and downloadable content and the issue that arises when these things are implemented. And these things were not really a thing back in the PS2 days and beforehand. They gave you the game. If it was fucked, it was fucked. If it was good, it was good. You know what I mean? Like, I say PS2 because that was the main console I played on. But I obviously know the GameCube and Xbox were existing, but the PS2 outsold them tremendously, even though the PS2 was the weaker system, showing that back then people didn't give a fuck about power of consoles. The PS2 was by far the weakest console in the three of the consoles that were out, the three main ones, Xbox and so on. But that's another issue I may come up with in this video, depending on how much time I have, because I've given my time for time limit, because this is a topic I probably could go on about for about an hour and just be red in the face, but I can't achieve anything. Anyway, pre-orders. Why would you pre-order something you don't know what you're getting? I believe it was the Fallout developers. Everyone can love Fallout 4 they like. It was Bethesda who said, and actually I don't think it was Bethesda, they're the publisher, I don't know, that said, we don't know what's in this season pass. Why would you buy a season pass if even the developer does not know what's in the game? What is wrong with people today that think that's a good idea? Anyone that buys that is helping the gaming industry crash. And in theory, that should be a good thing, because it needs to fucking crash. Games are becoming more expensive than movies. Destiny was ridiculously expensive to make. And where's that game now? It's gone. Same with Titanfall. DLC is another issue. The reason I brought up Star Wars Battlefront, and I'm playing Battlefront 2, there's a good reason for these, don't worry. The picture at the start is because they sold you half a game at full price. Now let me ask you, would you pay full price for a movie for it just to stop halfway through? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't go see that movie. Would you buy a book full price if it stopped on page 100 and there was 226 pages left? No, you wouldn't. So why would you do this with games? People would boycott this. It's the same with music. The band gave you half an album and just stopped randomly halfway through a thing and be like, if you want the rest of this album, pay an extra £10. You would not do that. So why is it acceptable in gaming? It is not acceptable in gaming. It is the death of the industry, and there is so much bullshit that has been allowed to happen, and we need to talk with our wallets to prevent this from happening. Because honestly, the only thing, it's just become worse and worse. Games are becoming more expensive. At the start of this generation, they said games weren't going to be more expensive. In England, PS3 and Xbox 360 games were usually £40. They are raising to £45 and £50. I have seen Metal Gear Solid 5 for £60. Granted, I want to play Metal Gear Solid 5, but I will not pay that price. Me and myself, I like to justify games when how much I feel they're worth. The Star Wars Battlefront, EA, I probably won't pay more than £15 for that game. So I'm going to be waiting a while, and I don't care, because that game is dying out quickly. So what if a game is pretty? There is more content in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the game I am playing right now in campaign mode, something the new one does not have. Granted, the campaign isn't exactly great in this, but it's still got more than the current one. Why is that justifiable? And then they want to charge you pretty much an extra game price for a season pass. No. Don't allow this. The PSP games had more content than the fucking Star Wars Battlefront EA. You could go from Earth to space in the PSP games. You can't do that in this one. And this is meant to be next gen. So you telling me the PSP is next gen because it can do that? There is so much they literally wanked over the fucking graphics of the game, and then last minute could not be bothered to do the rest. Mainly can't be bothered, but time constraints did not allow this, because essentially EA wants to bang out a game that has a battle in it every year. Battlefield Hardline, and Battlefront. Because they got rid of Medal of Honor. Granted, the Medal of Honor Warfighter was a pile of shit. This is not an acceptable thing. DLC is killing the industry, and season passes are essentially season passes have become the norm. Thank the fuck that fucking network passes have gone. That was the stupidest thing. I actually had a new game that the network pass did not work. What am I meant to do with that? Tell me. I bought a full game and the half of the fucking game's not there. And the thing is, if that continued, I would not be surprised Call of Duty had that, to be honest. If I'm perfectly honest. So yeah, DLC. Another example. I'm going to come back to Battlefront. My mind's going off in millions directions. Because there's so much bullshit that it just becomes to the point of why. Metro Last Light. They got rid of hard mode and made you pay extra. Why? Why should I do that? That's like fucking buying I'm going to keep going analogies. That's like buying a book and every other letter of the word is not there. Why? Would you buy a book that had every other letter in a word was not there? So you're not really getting a full experience. Obviously, you're not even being able to read it. But why would you take this in gaming? It's just wrong. Pre-orders, I actually feel like they should just get rid of pre-orders altogether. Or have some accountability towards pre-orders. Because honestly, it's getting to the point where developers are expecting people to pre-order and get the season pass, and they're able to just release broken games. This is not just indicative of this generation, don't get me wrong. Last generation had it. Mainly looking at Bethesda. And I honestly think my phone just went. And I honestly feel that the more we allow this to happen, the more it's going to become an issue of just disproportional magnitudes. I don't even think that made sense, but I don't care. I've been talking for 7 minutes. I don't care. And I did a commentary before this. It is just, I think, oh, I forgot my point. Anyway, my point is, this is a new point because I forgot my last point. Stop paying for half games. Stop pre-ordering games you don't know fuck all about. Everyone, essentially, who pre-ordered Battlefront, bought a fucking photograph. Well, not a photograph, a nice looking game with no substance. Since when was it acceptable just to have multiplayer only games? And it's going to have amazing maps. If I believe there's only like 8 or 12 maps, one of those multiples of 4 in that game. And then even then, most of them are just crap. It's the same with Titanfall. And thank God that the community died in Titanfall. But really, it should have gotten half the sales. And now I'm going to probably mention something that would piss a lot of people off. Because it's a certain company that's a bit of an enigma. To the, not enigma. A bit taboo to talk about. But the problem lies with certain... Nintendo, that's what I'm going to go for. Nintendo have a certain quality control that should be exercised by all. Okay? It's very rare for Nintendo to release a bad, broken game. Extremely rare. I'm not trying to praise Nintendo. I'm just saying their policy seems to be working, and it's also the worst selling console in this generation. What does that tell you? Gamers need to stop pre-ordering. That is my point, essentially. I'm not telling people to stop pre-ordering, but you should let your wallet talk, okay? Because just randomly talking to people on Twitter and swearing at them, to developers, does not work. What works is not buying the game. What works is just boycotting the game. That's the same thing. Basically, if you really, really have strong opinions and feel this is the same for you as I'm talking about, then obviously this needs to happen where people need to just kind of open their eyes and just stop taking this shit. And also, the person that I work with on Duality Gaming / media, my editor, he actually told me to talk about this. And yes, I think it's a strong subject. And Star Wars Battlefront being the latest issue here, I wouldn't be surprised if they had DLC campaign. And if anyone watches this, which I really hope they do, I would love for them to explain to me, justify to me, how an extra game price is good for a season pass. You don't know what the fuck you're getting. Why should you buy that? Honestly, they need to boycott season passes. If they want to save money, how about you reduce the price? It's becoming to the point of where games are becoming too expensive. And it's just becoming to the point where games are becoming too expensive to make and to buy, and it's becoming a death of the industry, and eventually, well, I think we're going to have a second crash around the world rather than just America. Anyway, that's my opinion. Thanks for watching. Give your opinion in your comments. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Do all that nice things. Tell your friends about this. Tell your dog about this. Tell your cat about this. Tell your nan about this. And honestly, I think something needs to happen where we all come together and just stop this bullshit. Or buy games where we feel the price is like what I do. I don't buy games at full price if I don't feel they deserve all my money. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching and have a nice day.